watching the Weather Channel for accurate forecasts at your convenience. Weather you can always turn to. Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Special regional information. The regional forecast. Coming up, the latest weather information here on the Weather Channel.
At Residence Inn, we've tried to create an atmosphere that's very close to the one you left behind.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
Have we gone too far? Residence Inn by Marriott, the extended stay hotel.
I never worry about money now that I use Quicken. Now we're organized.
With Quicken, we always know exactly where our money's going.
And exactly how much we have.
Yes, Quicken, the world's best-selling finance software and the fastest, easiest way to organize your home and small business finances. Quicken tracks bank accounts, investments, tax information, budgets, credit cards, and loans. And it's simple. If you can use a checkbook, you can use Quicken because your screen looks exactly like your checkbook. Just type in the payee, the amount, Quicken does the rest. Every transaction automatically categorized so a keystroke shows you where your money goes with revealing graphs like income and expenses, budgets, net worth, and more. And it's fast.
Quicken just reconciled my whole bank statement in 2 minutes.
So if you have a PC with DOS or Windows, call now to try Quicken free for 60 days. We won't charge your credit card unless you decide to keep Quicken. Call now.
Call 1-800-438-3240.
Thanks for joining us here at the Weather Channel. We have been experiencing power outages at times, so just bear with us. The major storm that is now over eastern Georgia moving into South Carolina causing a variety of problems. Closer view showing that the storm in the southeast still bringing heavy snow to northern areas of Georgia, still blizzard conditions around Atlanta, starting to let up around Birmingham after a record-breaking storm. 13 inches of snow. This is the most Birmingham, Alabama has ever had. Chattanooga also 13 inches of snow. These are scenes from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga, Tennessee also looking at blizzard conditions. The snow should gradually wind down late this afternoon into early this evening. Not only do we see this scene in areas of the southeast, but with this developing area low pressure, it is now heading up the eastern seaboard. Heavy snow now falling around New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington. The latest radar picture showing the heaviest bands of snow now cranking up and heading off to the northeast. Also look out for high winds. Winds along the coast could be over hurricane force, especially the next 24 hours as this, which could be one of the very strongest storms this century, makes its way through Maryland and eventually up toward Maine by your Sunday. So far, snow amounts over a foot North Georgia, central Alabama, north central Alabama actually, and areas of the Great Smokies, and should be approaching a foot areas of Pennsylvania. Locally, 2 to 4 feet is likely.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel.
Now on video, 45 minutes of fast tornado action, plus the 1993 tornado calendar. Just $19.95. Call 1-800-525-6600.
And now it's time for the Michelin Drivers Report, brought to you by Michelin and your participating Michelin dealers.
And good morning, and thanks for tuning in to the Weather Channel. I'll tell you what, folks, we have really got some problems out there on the roadways. Stay home this morning. The southeast, we've had several reports of record snows from Birmingham all the way into Chattanooga, Tennessee. So the roadways here, several are even closed. So just stay home and sit tight. Stay with us at the Weather Channel. Blizzard conditions from the Gulf Coast all the way into the northeastern United States as we watch this tremendous storm move up the northeast coast and bring plenty of snow, wind, and even some strong thunderstorms along the coast, especially in North Carolina. We've seen reports of tornadoes and even some strong storms passing through the area. Blizzard conditions will be with us through tonight and even into tomorrow morning in the northeastern United States, so we'll hang on as totals could get upwards of 2 to 4 feet of snow before this storm is said and done, which will definitely strand folks. If you venture out in your car, you're not going to probably make it very far. So just stay home and stay with us here at the Weather Channel. We'll have some rain along the coastal areas, and we'll look for those strong storms and strong winds.
For regional Michelin drivers reports, call the Weather Channel Connection, 1-900-WEATHER.
High-performance cars? Luxury performance cars? Family cars? Light trucks? If you've got the car, we've got the tire. Michelin. Because so much is riding on your tires.
Find Michelin tires at this dealer near you, because so much is riding on your tires.
This is my bird box, and I used a little paper, and I put some moss around the entrance.
I made a bird box, and I put a little perch on there, and on the bottom it says, wipe your feet.
These take-home nests were paid for by Phillips Petroleum.
I'm expecting doves, blue jays, and robins. I'm expecting one of those yellow and blackbirds.
An investment that comes with its obvious rewards.
Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. Current regional conditions. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Special regional information. The forecast for cities nationwide. Regional forecast. long-range outlook. Stay tuned for more weather coverage on the Weather Channel. You're watching the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to for accurate, dependable weather forecasts 24 hours a day.
This morning's weather is sponsored by 100% Colombian coffee, the richest coffee in the world.
Good Saturday morning. Thanks for tuning into the Weather Channel. On this 13th day of March, we have a massive storm system in the east, but the rest of the nation is fairly quiet in comparison. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the high pressure that's through the midsection of the country today. Despite that, a few snow flurries over the Dakotas, south of Nebraska, into Nebraska and eastern Kansas. And we have a few showers in the west, particularly in northern and northwestern California, with some snow in the higher terrain. But they're light showers, and they're moving on through pretty quickly and dissipating as they do. The main story is the east, with one of the biggest storms this century, beginning now to move through the state of North Carolina and headed up towards the nation's capital this afternoon and into upstate New York by early morning hours on Sunday. Already we've had some record snows with this storm. We've had at least one city that had an all-time record low air pressure at Augusta, Georgia, as the low pressure system tracked just to your south earlier this morning. Now in upstate New York and northern New England, I'd say Burlington and Montpelier, the clouds are moving in, but the snow has not started yet. Same for Portland, up towards Holton and Caribou in Maine, but the snow is on the way. Snow has already begun in a widespread area from Glens Falls and Hudson Falls south to New York City. Most of eastern and central Pennsylvania covered by moderate to heavy snow right now, coming down at an inch or two per hour, so it's piling up pretty quick. New Jersey's in the heavy snow too, except down around Cape May, where the precipitation is beginning to change to rain. Snow is falling at a good clip. Western Virginia, including, east of the Appalachians at the nation's capital. It's snowing right now with an inch or two in the last hour, but Richmond is raining. Norfolk, Newport News, Raleigh, Durham, and Charlotte, North Carolina are wet rather than snowy. But in the western North Carolina mountains, the snow continues, and cities like Asheville have picked up a foot or more of new snow over the past 24 hours. Here's the storm center. Very impressive, very powerful storm system. It's moved out of Georgia now. The center is in South Carolina. We have rain just to the north and east of the storm as the mild air pushes in off the Atlantic. West of the storm center, the winds are gusty, and there have been blizzard conditions over North Georgia, much of central and northern Alabama this morning, not to mention middle and east Tennessee and the western part of the Carolinas. Got some video to show you. The first stop is going to be out of Atlanta, right outside the Weather Channel here, as a matter of fact, in Vinings, which is just northwest of downtown. We had a lot of rain during the night, but it changed to snow at 4 or 5 in the morning. And since the changeover, it's been snowing heavily, 4 or 5 inches on the ground, and wind gusts to 50 miles an hour have caused white-out conditions from time to time. Now, this is a little farther north. Chattanooga, Tennessee, where the snow has been even heavier. Chattanooga, by the way, has received an all-time record 24-hour snowfall amount. We can see that. It's 13 inches. Asheville's had 13. Birmingham, Alabama, one of their biggest snowstorms ever, especially for the month of March. Lynchburg, Virginia, already 8 inches of new snow. And Marietta, Georgia, northwest of Atlanta, a half a foot. Montgomery's had 4. That's their biggest 24-hour snowfall in March. And Mobile, Alabama, right down at the Gulf Coast, you've had some snow too. And even cities like Pensacola and Tallahassee in Florida had briefly accumulating snows this morning. And there was one report from Crestview, Florida, which is in the panhandle, of an inch or two of wet snow accumulations this morning as the snow moved into northwestern Florida. There's snow on the map through the Ohio Valley. It's mainly light. And we have a few flurries here through the Dakotas and Nebraska. And as I mentioned, some light rain and snow out to the west. Let's check on the west in the good afternoon forecast. In terms of the temperatures, we're looking at readings right now in the 50s to low 60s along the coast, and no problem with wind chills there, but you get into the middle and eastern sections of the country, and it's pretty bad. For instance, the wind chill in Atlanta right now is 11 degrees below zero with the snow and blowing snow and temperatures in the 20s. Here's the forecast. Storm heads to the Carolinas by midday, up to just a little bit east of the nation's capital by afternoon, then into upstate New York by Sunday morning. North and west of the track, heavy snow in terms of 1 to 3 feet of additional accumulation closer to the coast. The snow will probably change to rain, and the winds will be very strong and gusty. Coastal flooding and some beach erosion, a distinct possibility. and hurricane-forced wind gusts are not out of the question either. Snowfall totals again. Look for a 2 to 4 foot band all the way from the North Georgia mountains into northern Maine by the time the storm is over. Most areas 1 to 2 feet, but isolated favored locations could get up to 48 inches of the white stuff. Highs today in the east, very cold. Chilly tonight, that's for sure. Teens down to southern Alabama while it stays mild in the southwest and back to the 80s there tomorrow. It'll stand in the 80s in the southwest deserts on Monday, while the lakes and northeast remain rather chilly. But a moderating trend is on the way for the east on Wednesday as 50s reach back and melt some of the snow around the nation's capital. And by the end of the week, cold March weather in the north and mild in the south with a few showers to start the new week.
More and more people are waking up to Juan Valdez and his 100% Colombian coffee. And so can you.
Buenos días.
Get a good start to your morning with this morning's weather. 25 and 58 minutes after every hour, between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern, only on the Weather Channel.
And as we detail the skiing conditions for you, I guess the only beneficiaries from this major winter storm will be the ski resorts with heavy, heavy snow in the forecast. The Allegheny Mountains, the Poconos can pick up as much as 3 feet of snow before all said and done. Even the Catskills and the Adirondacks, the Green, the White Mountains, getting snow right now of the Berkshires of Massachusetts. So I'm talking about some heavy snow on the way. Skiing conditions will be optimum, but of course you have to get to the ski resorts. And that's certainly going to mean treacherous and hazardous driving conditions. So I'm going to put off a day or two. Let's check on the latest conditions. Sunday River, packed powder. They have about 2 inches of new snow with a base of 96 inches. 73 trails are open. 71 trails available at Okemo, Vermont. They're reporting powder conditions with 8 inches of new snow. I'll look at the latest conditions at Waterville Valley, New Hampshire, Sugarbush, Vermont, and even Bowen Mountain, Michigan. They're reporting groomed conditions with about 17 trails open. Locally, 2 to 4 feet of snow. I told you, I'm talking about this storm means business. Will continue throughout the entire weekend with the heaviest snow tomorrow in the Adirondacks and the northern mountains of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, and then beginning to taper off by Monday. But it still should be kind of blustery over the ski resorts in New England on Monday afternoon.
For ski conditions at over 400 other ski areas, call 1-900-WEATHER.
To you, it's just a peel. To us, it's where promises are kept. Some kept.
You are here. She has the traveler's checks here. That is a problem. Well, was. American Express traveler's checks for two. The only checks either of you can use. Don't leave home without them.
You can pick up your American Express traveler's checks for two at participating AAA locations.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Thompson's. When the store ran out of Thompson's water seal, we finished our deck with another brand. What a mistake. The Thompson side beat it up, the other side, nothing. Even the clerk agreed. Nothing works like Thompson's. Sincerely, Becky Jones, Charlotte, North Carolina.
12.5 past the hour. Let's take a radar tour across the nation. National Digital Radar shows it mostly dry in the west, though we do have a few showers in northern California and southwestern Oregon. The nation's midsection mostly high and dry today, but the east is under the influence of a massive area of precipitation stretching all the way from Florida nearly to upstate New York and central New England now. A lot of this is snow. There's some rain and thunderstorms mixed on in, not to mention the gusty winds and record snowfalls and record low air pressures recorded with this very powerful late winter storm. Now, we do have snow across southern New England at New York City's JFK, a thunderstorm with heavy snow in the past hour, heavy snow across central and northern New Jersey and much of eastern Pennsylvania. The snow is coming down at an inch or two an hour. Now, down here where you see the dark green, there's a change over to sleet and some rain from Cape May down across the Delmarva Peninsula, and a bit of a mixture in the nation's capital area, too, especially southeast of the city, but in the city and west, the heavy snows continue. Rain down through North Carolina, Tidewater, Virginia, while in North Georgia, it is snowy and windy from Rome to Atlanta to Macon and Columbus.
Skiers, call 1-900-WEATHER for slow conditions at over 400 ski areas worldwide. 95 cents a minute. That's 1-900-WEATHER.
Are you tired of the same old places to eat? Why not try someplace new? The Quarry and Sports and Spirits invite you to enjoy delicious food in a comfortable atmosphere. With an unbelievable menu selection and friendly service, the whole family will enjoy the Quarry restaurant. Children under 9 eat free when accompanied by an adult. After a great meal, why not try one of our homemade desserts? And then our unlimited sports bar. Sports and Spirits with 3 satellite dishes and large screen TVs. Sports and Spirits offers you up-to-date sporting events. The Quarry and Sports and Spirits. Good food, great fun. Open 7 days a week, serving dinner till midnight.
Submitted for your approval, Tom Wertz, a general manager with a reputation for discounting till it hurts. Kelly Wertz, car dealer's daughter, who together with her brother Tom has taken every new Chevrolet car and truck and every new Geo at High Point and put them into the no-dicker zone, a place where every vehicle displays a no-dicker sticker showing the guaranteed lowest price. If you see your new High Point vehicle advertised for less within 10 days of your purchase, you'll be refunded the difference. The no-dicker zone at High Point Chevrolet Geo. Watch the 5-day business planner here on the Weather Channel at 20 minutes after every hour. You get a comprehensive national report that covers the forecast over the next 5 days. Watch the 5-day business planner coming up soon on the Weather Channel. Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Special regional information. The regional forecast
the current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
And we continue to give you the latest information on the storm system that's moving across central Georgia as we speak. You can see the blow-up of clouds off the east coast of Florida. We had some strong thunderstorms and even tornadoes that crossed through the region over the last 24 hours. But the center of the low is in central and south Georgia, moving off to the northeast and rapidly intensifying. We have the very cold air behind it and some very, very heavy snow. Regional radar out of Florida shows the heaviest storms moving off the coast already, but still some residual light rain showers crossing over the central peninsula. You go north, though, and you find snow over the panhandle of Florida. It is snowing right now at Atlanta, Hartsville. Visibility is down to 1/2 of a mile, and they're reporting moderate snow. So we still have sometimes blizzard-like conditions with winds gusting upwards some 40 miles an hour, so very blustery. More after this.
The great storm of 1993 has brought blizzard conditions deep into the south. We'll tell you where the storm is heading. That's coming up next on the Weather Channel.
Take off on the most unforgettable flight of your life. Join the world's leading aviation authority aboard the Messerschmitt 262, the Bell X-1, and the X-15, all waiting to fly you farther, faster, and higher. The Smithsonian's Frontiers of Flight, now available for only $4.95 plus shipping and handling for your introductory video cassette from Columbia House Video Library. Begin your flight and get a free bonus, this outstanding Frontiers of Flight book featuring 270 photos from the Smithsonian's collection. Then fly to the scene of aviation's most important breakthroughs. You'll be there for every milestone, every mishap, every miracle. From the Spirit of St. Louis to the incredible Voyager. In your first video, you'll join test pilots as you streak along the edge of the atmosphere at supersonic speed. Future videos will send you soaring with more of aviation's best at the Frontiers of Flight. Call now and cruise to the threshold of space with the Smithsonian Institution for only $4.95 plus $2.45 shipping and handling. And get the Frontiers of Flight book free. Have your credit card ready and call this toll-free number now.
18.5 past the hour on this Saturday morning. Very stormy weather in the east. Let's check it out on the National Surface Map. And we have a record-setting low-pressure center now moving out of Georgia into South Carolina, and it is spreading a massive area of precipitation over the eastern part of the country. Snow has already started in the upper Hudson Valley of New York State, while the low-pressure center is just moving up towards Columbia in South Carolina. We have heavy snows, 13 inches at Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Birmingham, Alabama, for instance. Chattanooga setting an all-time 24-hour snowfall record. Then blizzard conditions over parts of Georgia, and snow has fallen into the western and northwestern sections of Florida this morning, around Pensacola, Panama City, and Tallahassee. A few snowflakes in the air right now. We have some storm totals. Birmingham, Asheville, and Chattanooga, 13 inches, 6 inches at Marietta, and 2 inches on the Gulf Coast at Mobile, Alabama.
The great storm of 1993 has brought blizzard conditions deep into the south. We'll tell you where the storm is heading. That's next on the Weather Channel.
How many bowls of this cereal would it take to equal the nutritional value of the fresh fruit, eggs, grits, and bacon on Shoney's Breakfast Bar? Well, it depends on how big your bowl is. Cereal, bananas, peaches, melons, fruit salad, cottage cheese, bacon, scrambled eggs, sausage, potatoes, blueberry muffin, biscuits, country milk gravy, grits.
Shoney's Breakfast Bar, the best breakfast in town.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Okay, we've been watching that storm very, very carefully for you. We'll see what's going to happen with it as we go through the next 5 days. Well, I'll tell you what, over the next 24 hours, it is expected to continue deepening, and the deeper the storm, the stronger it is. We'll find some heavy snow from the southern Appalachians all the way to the Catskills and the Adirondacks of New York, and even the Poconos in Pennsylvania. An additional 2 to 4 feet possible. Winter storm warnings and blizzard warnings have been issued for most of the area as the low fairly quickly moves off to the north. Off the coast of Virginia, we think later this afternoon, we've had heavy snow at the nation's capital, so get ready for even more on top of that. Then the low pressure system moves into eastern New York, and the snow begins to taper off across the southeast, but tomorrow morning it's going to be very, very blustery with those winds pulling down the cold air from the north. Oh, we're talking about some very cold morning temperatures. Afternoon highs today only in the 20s and 30s as far south as northern Georgia. So you know overnight it's going to be even colder. And tomorrow afternoon we find things getting a little bit warmer from west to east. Notice Texas with the 60s over the Rio Grande Valley, and then 70s build there. And then we'll push 60s all the way into Arkansas and western Mississippi. Jackson over the last 24 hours has picked up as much as 2 inches of snow. We've had the heaviest amounts over the eastern parts of the state, like in Meridian, where we had as much as 6 inches of snow. It's been quite cold down south so late in this winter season. But by the latter part of the week, temperatures will rebound and feel a little bit more like spring. Tomorrow, again, the area of low pressure continues to move north. So Monday, snow showers will linger over New England, but we'll say goodbye to that storm finally by Monday afternoon. Replacing it will be another. We don't think that this one will be as strong as its predecessor. However, it may tap a little bit of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. Scattering showers over the lower Mississippi Valley. Quickly heads to the east coast with a few light rain showers from the mid-Atlantic points south and snow showers to the north. And then more wet weather develops out west.
The great storm of 1993 has brought blizzard conditions deep into the south. We'll tell you where the storm is heading. That's coming up next on the Weather Channel.
Far from Bourbon Street, in its own little corner of the Garden District, is the most fabled house in New Orleans, the Maple Street Children's Bookshop, where the folks who write the books also read them. So if you go, bring your wildest imagination and your Visa card, because at Maple Street, they'll take you on a truly magical journey, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
You can use your Visa card at the Pearl Vision Center nearest you.
6 years ago, the city of Tampa had crumbling sewer pipes, and they started slip-lining them with Driscoll pipe from Phillips 66, extending their lifespan from 10 years to 50, and saving millions of tax dollars, which Tampa has no trouble finding better ways to spend. Solutions from Phillips 66, the performance company.
Earth Answers is sponsored by Phillips Petroleum, the performance company.
The environment may not be at the top of your mind when you're cooking at home, but maybe it should be. Your stove uses quite a lot of energy. 1 BTU, or British thermal unit, equals the energy in 1 matchstick. The average electric stove uses 2,200,000 BTUs per year. That's a lot of matches. A microwave uses 50% less energy for small portions or thawing, but your regular oven is more efficient for large things. Here's some other tips. Keep the oven closed throughout cooking. You lose 25 to 50 degrees every time you open the door. Glass or ceramic baking dishes hold the heat better than metal, so they're more efficient. And don't preheat the oven for more than 10 minutes. For more ways to save energy around your kitchen and your home, write to 30 Simple Things You Can Do to Save Energy, Phillips Petroleum Company, 16D1 Phillips Building, Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Please allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery.
The great storm of 1993 has brought blizzard conditions deep into the south. We'll tell you where the storm is heading. That's next on the Weather Channel.
From the Weather Channel, America's primary source for weather information, the Weather Classroom, a complete unit for teaching basic meteorology, climatology, and our environment. The Weather Classroom, an 80-page, fully illustrated textbook workbook with experiments and activities to let students enjoy a hands-on, up-close experience with weather. The Weather Classroom, a regular on-air program with exciting and dramatic examples of weather in action. Find out how you can offer the Weather Classroom to your students. Contact your local cable operator right away. It's not easy knowing how to dress your kids for school every day. Will it rain? Will it storm? Will it be cool? Will it be warm? Don't despair. Dressing your kids for school can be downright elementary when you watch the school day forecast on the Weather Channel. So make it a rule to see us before you see them off. The school day forecast, weekday mornings, 35 minutes after the hour on the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to. Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. Current regional conditions. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Special regional information. The forecast for cities nationwide. Regional forecast. Your region's long-range outlook. Stay tuned for more weather coverage on the Weather Channel. This is the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to for accurate, dependable weather forecasts 24 hours a day.
And we thank you so much for joining us on the Weather Channel 30 minutes after the hour. And you know we're pretty busy here keeping you updated on the winter storm developed in the Gulf of Mexico. You know, it all started last week when we had a cold air coming down out of the northern Rockies and then spilling into the plain states. Then we watched the area of low pressure develop in the western Gulf of Mexico. We knew as the two came together that we would have quite explosive weather developing, and that's definitely what we've seen over the last 24 hours. Anywhere from severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, to heavy rains. We've had brutally cold wind chills, and strong winds are expected as we go through the next 24 hours as the low-pressure system moves up the middle Atlantic coast to the northeast, and we've had heavy, heavy amounts of snow. We've had 3 to 6 inches in the Rockies as the cold air filtered down, and then as it met up with a moisture source or that area of low pressure, take a look at the heavy snow that we've seen over the Appalachians. Even down south over the Great Smokies, we've had heavy snow. Eastern Tennessee, 13 inches. In Chattanooga, the heaviest we've seen in a 24-hour period ever. So we're talking major records set across the southeast. Here's a look at some individual snowfall tallies. Birmingham, 13 inches, over a foot of snow in Birmingham. Even Asheville, North Carolina, in the Piedmont area in the mountains, we've had about 13 inches. There you see Chattanooga making the list, and Marietta, that's a little northwest of downtown Atlanta. We've had as much as 6 inches of snow there, and it has definitely been a winter scene across northern Georgia. These are scenes right outside of the Weather Channel, located in Vinings, Georgia, not far from Atlanta. Hey, that looks like a familiar car. And the snowfall potential, heavy snow, 2 to 4 feet, with blizzard warnings in effect from, anywhere from northern Georgia all the way to New York and Pennsylvania. Over the Poconos, we can find as much as 2 feet of snow before all said and done. Let's take a look at it on the satellite picture. You can see how the major storm is basically moving into Georgia right now at the center of the low pressure system. You can see those explosive clouds crossing over Florida. Those clouds brought very heavy and violent severe weather across the southern peninsula over the last 24 hours. We had thunderstorms and even tornadoes that raced through Florida earlier this morning. The heavier thunderstorms have moved off the coast of Florida, thank goodness, but we still have reports of a little bit of light rain crossing over the central peninsula. Coastal flood problems for the west coast, so we'll continue to watch that. And we've even had reports of snow in the panhandle of Florida. Yes, the cold air is that far south into the Gulf waters. We've had 6 inches of snow in Meridian, Mississippi, about 2 inches in Jackson, but heavier amounts again in Alabama, in Georgia, Tennessee, and the Piedmont area of North Carolina. Now, for the coastal plains, North Carolina and Virginia anticipate locally gusty winds and possibly some beach erosion and coastal flooding. Of course, this radar shows still the moderate snow we have been reported at Hartsville International in Atlanta, with visibilities less than 1/2 of a mile. That just indicates how heavily the snow is coming down. We have heavy snow being reported right now in Crossville and Bristol, Tennessee, and in the mountains of North Carolina. You see the darker green over our nation's capital. DCA, the 3-letter identifier right there where you see the dark green. Well, we've had reports of very heavy snow moving through our nation's capital. And I tell you what, there's more where that came from. It is snowing over most of Pennsylvania into West Virginia and Ohio, snowing right now at the John F. Kennedy Airport and LaGuardia. As a matter of fact, they're reporting visibilities less than 1/4 of a mile. So it's already starting over New York and Pennsylvania, again with the potential of 2 to 4 feet before all said and done. Be wary of the coastal flooding now, with coastal flood warnings from Long Island down to Virginia, North and South Carolina, as the area of low pressure moves quickly along the east coast over the next 24 hours. Temperatures definitely cold in the plain states, and even down south, Atlanta, it's 29 degrees, but you factor in those gusting winds, and Atlanta has a wind chill of some 10 degrees below zero. I look at your afternoon highs today. Let's look ahead and see what we can expect for this upcoming work week. And the look ahead is sponsored by Wheaton Worldwide Moving, moving America from sea to shining sea. Here's a look at the afternoon highs on Monday. Now notice how things will begin to warm up a little bit anyway, from west to east over Texas, as 70s build into much of the state. 60s will filter to the southern Atlantic coast. So by the middle and latter part of the week, we're talking about turning to at least somewhat of a spring-like pattern. Certainly nothing like what we have seen. Another little system will cross over the northern plain states and tap some of the Gulf moisture. All of this will head to the east coast, but you notice that this storm is not nearly as strong as the one we're dealing with today.
The great storm of 1993 has brought blizzard conditions deep into the south. We'll tell you where the storm is heading. That's coming up next on the Weather Channel.
piano is often considered the biggest challenge a moving company faces. As the official mover for Steinway & Sons pianos, Wheaton Worldwide Moving met that challenge by moving the 500,000 Steinway on a year-long tour of the U.S. without a scratch. With the same care and attention to detail, Wheaton professionals will move what's most important to you and your family. For our free money-saving brochure, call 1-800-248-4810.
For information on how Wheaton can orchestrate your next move, call our customer services representative at 1-800-248-4810. Get the latest skiing conditions before you take to the slopes this winter. Tune to the Weather Channel for the skier's forecast all season long, only on the Weather Channel. Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Coming up, more local information here on the Weather Channel.
Visit the beaches of St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Florida, where the magic lasts a lifetime. Call 1-800-888-2227.
The beaches of St. Petersburg, Clearwater, where the magic lasts a lifetime.
There's a reason more people go to Sears for a new battery.
Can't believe I left my lights on.
Only Sears has the Die Hard. Sears is so confident of Die Hard starting power, if you need a jump, Sears will do it absolutely free. Anytime, anywhere, even if you leave your lights on.
Got stranded once. Never again.
You can count on Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
Now, one of the most powerful storms this century affecting the East Coast today. We have blizzard warnings in effect all the way from Atlanta, Georgia to northern New England. Well, more on that in the winter storm update and right now in your weekend travel forecast.
What do you do when you travel? What do you see when you travel? Then what makes you think the Travel Channel is just travel? The Travel Channel, more than a place to go, it's the place to be.
For more information on the Travel Channel, please call your local cable system.
Anybody thirsty? There we go.
breast cancer, and surgery didn't stop it. It became bone cancer. I was 42 years old, and I wasn't sure that I'd see 43. I wasn't even sure how many more days like this that I'd get to spend with my grandchildren. What I was sure of is that I wanted a hospital where they didn't rely only on drugs and where they used nutrition to build up the body's own defenses. I came to cancer treatment centers in August of 1989, and what I was searching for, I felt they had. I was right. They always treated me with concern and kindness and never failed to be there for me.
Call us, Cancer Treatment Centers of America, 1-800-365-9233.
They made this day possible, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
The BBC, Turner Broadcasting, and Time Life Video dare you to take a walk on the wild side with Trials of Life. The gripping, award-winning nature video series that exposes the struggle to survive through uncensored, shocking photography. Join acclaimed naturalist David Attenborough for a close encounter with raw nature. See the thrill of the hunt and the strategy of the kill, the relentless drive to continue the bloodline, and the miracle of birth. Call now and receive Hunting and Escaping for $9.99 and see why the law of the jungle is kill or be killed. If it captures your interest, you can get other videos about every other month. Each tape explores the harsh realities of survival in the animal world. Take a walk on the wild side with Trials of Life. Call now to order Hunting and Escaping and find out why we call them animals.
To order your Trials of Life, call 1-800-541-4180 or send $9.99 plus $3.23 shipping and handling to the address shown on your screen.
Well, while a late winter storm is raging along the east coast of the United States, over in Europe, the weather is pretty tranquil as we check out the view from a European meteorological satellite. We do have a few minor disturbances moving through southern Portugal and southern Spain today with some shower activity, but high pressure in control of the weather through France, Germany, Poland, into the Ukraine and western sections of Russia. Let's check out the forecast map for tomorrow, and high pressure holds strong. It should be centered over the former Yugoslavia, mostly dry weather, Bulgaria, Romania, up across Austria and Czechoslovakia, and westbound across Poland, France, Belgium, and the southern part of Great Britain, too. However, over Ireland, a new front moving in. That'll kick off some showers, rain showers, during the day on Sunday, and it may be a little wet around Barcelona in Spain. Temperatures there in the 50s. Madrid should hit the 60s, as well as Paris, Berlin, and Munich in Germany will top out in the 50s, and Moscow tomorrow in the 20s. Athens on Sunday, lots of sun, pretty nice spring-like day, upper 50s in the afternoon, but clouds in Brussels and in London. Also mostly cloudy in Frankfurt and partly cloudy in Vienna, mid-40s.
The great storm of 1993 has brought blizzard conditions deep into the south. We'll tell you where the storm is heading. That's next on the Weather Channel.
Select the latest forecast for your destination from close to 300 more international cities. Just 95 cents a minute. Call 1-900-WEATHER.
Call the Weather Channel Connection, 1-900-WEATHER, before you hit the road, and you'll be prepared for any weather Old Man Winter brings.
Are you hungry? The Lockwood Tavern. Are you still hungry? Now we know you're hungry. Great food in a casual setting at affordable prices. The Lockwood Tavern, 77 Route 206, Byram.
Submitted for your approval, Tom Wirtz, a general manager with a reputation for discounting till it hurts. Kelly Wirtz, car dealer's daughter, who together with her brother Tom has taken every new Chevrolet car and truck and every new Geo at High Point and put them into the no-dicker zone, a place where every vehicle displays a no-dicker sticker showing the guaranteed lowest price. If you see your new High Point vehicle advertised for less within 10 days of your purchase, you'll be refunded the difference. The no-dicker zone at High Point Chevrolet Geo.
And we're having a few minor difficulties. Thanks so much for staying with us here on the Weather Channel as we continue to give you the latest information on the winter storm. This is where it looks at the surface, the analysis, the big picture, and sticking out like a sore thumb, the storm off the Gulf of Mexico moving into central Georgia as we speak. Now, you do notice to the north and west of the low is where we have that very, very heavy snow. You see the more or less a solid white shading in East Tennessee, western North Carolina, even across northern Georgia. We have reports of blizzard-like conditions in these areas, a little bit of light snow back into northeast Mississippi. As a matter of fact, Meridian has picked up as much as 6 inches of snow. We saw about 2 inches in Jackson. So if you just take Interstate 20 and go through Meridian and then through Birmingham, you'll run into some 11 inches, 13 inches as a matter of fact of snow we've seen in Birmingham over the last 24 to 36 hours. The same in Chattanooga. That makes for a 24-hour record snowfall total. It continues to snow at Hartsville International in Atlanta. They're reporting visibilities of about 1/2 of a mile with moderate snow. We've had 6 inches reported just to the northwest of Atlanta in Marietta. Again, it is snowing heavily in the mountains in West Virginia, even the western parts of the state of Virginia. Wrapping around the area of low pressure, we have the brisk north and west winds. Coastal flood warnings have been issued for the west coast of Florida. We had strong storms already move off the east coast, but with those winds wrapping around the low, they may gust to some 30 and 40, even 50 miles an hour. Anticipate perhaps hurricane force winds along the east coast, the middle Atlantic, up toward Long Island, and the winds will be, again, from the east with the possibility of coastal flooding and beach erosion. A look at some of the snowfall totals, and I'll tell you what, it has been quite a winter scene, even to the south. We've had reports of snow as far south as Panama City, the panhandle of Florida. But of course, really taking the bandwagon, Birmingham, some 13 inches, the same in Chattanooga and Asheville, North Carolina. I see Montgomery with 4 inches of snow. And we've seen about 3 inches in New York City, but hey, it's going to get even worse in New York City because the storm system is headed in your direction. Perhaps 2 to 4 feet of snow we can find from West Virginia up through Maine. A foot of snow maybe in the suburbs of New York, but New York can see as much as 6 inches with the storm. Blizzard-like conditions, blizzard warnings have been issued from New York and Pennsylvania, even down to northern Georgia. So if you have travel plans, you might not want to travel because conditions are very bad. As a matter of fact, a blizzard warning means that we have snow and winds will be in excess of at least 35 miles an hour. That will make for visibilities down to near 0. And you know that means very hazardous and treacherous driving conditions. We advise you to stay in and sit this one out. Wintry travel extending overnight now to the north, but then snow will begin to taper off, we think, by tomorrow over the southeast, only to be replaced by very, very gusty winds as far south as, well, Valdosta, Georgia, and even around Savannah. So you'll want to hold on to the hats and the skirt tails tomorrow morning if you are heading off to church, because we do think that the snow will begin to taper off, but still snow over the northeast as we go through the next 24 hours with the deepening area of low pressure. Now, as low pressure deepens, the storm will strengthen.
Mothers have learned from countless doctors and pharmacists to take care of coughs with Robitussin. And they've taken this advice home. Robitussin, recommended by Dr. Mom. Ask your doctor or pharmacist.
Was it eons of isolation from the rest of the world? Or was it the way the wind blew? Or the way the rain fell? Was it the angle of the sun? Or was it a bird blown off course that found its way here with a single seed that grew and changed the course of history? Somehow, we just evolved differently. Australia, feel the wonder. For your free 130-page travel planner, call 1-800-947-5100.
Australia's magnificent Great Barrier Reef is one of the wonders of the world. Wonder why no other airline has direct flights to there from here. We do. Qantas. We go further.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. The current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
My husband and I knew the odds were ridiculous, but it's only a couple of bucks, and it was fun. Then Ron died 6 months ago, and I found out we didn't have enough life insurance. I owed almost $6,000. Turns out we could have easily afforded extra life insurance. For the price of a couple of these,
Veterans Life Insurance Company announces term life insurance for as little as $1 a week, just for veterans, their spouses, and widows age 50 to 75. Call this toll-free number for free information. There's no medical exam, no waiting period, and your benefits never go down.
I have my own policy now for Veterans Life. So someday my kids won't have to go through what I just did.
Call 1-800-533-9800 now for free information about $1 a week Veterans Life Insurance. Operators are standing by.
Get a good start to your morning with this morning's weather. 25 and 58 minutes after every hour, between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern, only on the Weather Channel.
And now it's time for the Michelin Drivers Report, brought to you by Michelin and your participating Michelin dealers.
5 minutes before the hour on this Saturday morning, our Michelin travel trouble spot today includes the southeast, where the snow and wind are combining to produce blizzard conditions over northern Georgia, extreme western Carolinas, East Tennessee, southeast Kentucky, western Virginia, snow even in the air as far south as northwestern Florida. We'll have some rain closer to the coast. Now back to the snow, that's spreading to the northeast. Cities like the nation's capital, Philadelphia, Baltimore, New York City, all reporting heavy snow in the vicinity right now. The winds will increase this afternoon. Blizzard conditions are expected later today and tonight in the mid-Atlantic and northeastern cities. Some change to rain, though, along the coast from the Delmarva Peninsula southward into Florida, where rain showers and thunder showers are possible. Even a few thunderstorms later today, South Florida, the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And then there's the wind. It could reach hurricane force along the East Coast, one of the biggest storms this century moving northeast.
The great storm of 1993 has brought blizzard conditions deep into the south. We'll tell you where the storm is heading. That's next on the Weather Channel.
For regional Michelin drivers reports, call the Weather Channel Connection, 1-900-WEATHER.
You've got Michelin's new all-season MXV4. A luxury performance tire with a very special feature. Climate control. Michelin. Because so much is riding on your tires.
Find Michelin tires at this dealer near you because so much is riding on your tires.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. The current local conditions. The current local conditions. Current regional conditions. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service.